Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to learn about the drainage system or chapter 3rd from geography, drainage. Okay, so let's start. Drainage is a term which describes the river system of an area. Okay, drainage is the term which describes the river system of an area. A drainage basin or river basin is an area which is drained by a single river system. Okay, getting? A drainage basin or river basin is an area which is drained by a single river system. Okay, an upland that separates two drainage systems that are next to each other is called a water divide. Okay, an upland that separates two drainage systems that are next to each other is called a water divide. Okay, on the basis of origin, there are two river systems of India: the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Okay, what are they? The two river system. First is the Himalayan river system and second is your peninsular rivers. Okay, Himalayan rivers are rain-fed and snow-fed. Okay, Himalayan rivers are rain-fed and snow-fed. So they have water in them throughout the year. Okay, they are perennial. Okay, they are called as perennial. Perennial means lasting or remaining active throughout the year. Okay, all the time. That is called your perennial. Himalayan rivers perform intensive erosional activity in the upper course. Okay, these Himalayan rivers, they perform intensive erosional means they will erode the soil from the upper course and they will drain out them downside. With that, what will happen? They will carry in the lower course, they carry huge loads of silt and sand. Okay, they will carry huge loads of silt and sand to the lower course. Silt means mud, okay, or fine earth deposit from running or standing water. That is called silt. And sand they will bring down the lower course. These Himalayan rivers, they create meanders, oxbow lakes and other depositional features on their course. Okay, now you may be asking what is the meanders? One of the turns of a winding or crooked or involved course. Okay, means it is a winding in the sense curve or bend, twisted or turn. The river or stream will be curve or bending or it will be twisted or turned. That is called the binding. That is called your meanders. Now let's see what is the oxbow lake. Okay, a crescent shaped lake formed near a flat valleyed river when one of its meander become pinched off or isolated. This is called your oxbow lake. Okay, as you can see here, these Himalayan rivers create meanders, oxbow lakes and other depositional features on their course. Peninsular rivers are seasonal. Okay, these peninsular rivers are seasonal, mostly depending on rainfall. The rivers are mostly depending on rainfall. Most of the rivers of peninsular India originate in the Western Ghats and flow towards the Bay of Bengal. Most of the rivers of peninsular of India, they are originate in the Western Ghats and flows towards the Bay of Bengal. Okay. Now let's see about the Himalayan rivers. A river along with the tributaries may be called a river system. Now you may be asked what is tributaries. Okay, so let's see. Tributary means a natural water system that flows into a larger river, okay, or another body of water. That is called your tributaries, means that is a part of the large river or main river, a natural water system. The major Himalayan rivers are the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. These are the three main or major rivers of Himalaya. First is your the Indus and the second is your the Ganga and the third is your Brahmaputra. These are the major rivers of Himalayan. Okay, now let's see the Indus river system. Rising near Lake Mansarovar in Tibet. This Indus river that rising near Lake Mansarovar in Tibet. The Indus enters India in the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir. How it enters to India? It enters through the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir. Jaskar, the Nubra, the Sayok are the tributaries in Kashmir. These are the tributaries of Indus in Kashmir. Okay. Rivers Satluj, Bees, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum join Indus near Mithankot. Okay, these four rivers or five rivers they join to Indus near your Mithankot. Okay, Pakistan and flows southwards to fall into the Arabian Sea east of Karachi. Okay, Mithankot in Pakistan, and then it flows southwards to fall into the Arabian Sea east of Karachi. Getting? With a total length of 2900 km, the Indus is one of the longest river of the world. Okay, as you can see, it is having the length of 2900 km, and Indus is one of the longest river in the world. Okay, it is one of the longest river of the world. India and Pakistan have distributed Indus River water according to Indus Water Treaty in 1960. Okay. Now you may be asking me what is treaty. Treaty means a formal agreement between two or more states, okay, or nation. So it is a water treaty between India and Pakistan in 1960. According to this treaty, that Indus water is divided among India and Pakistan. This is the about the Indus river system. Now let's see about the Ganga river system. The headwaters of Ganga are called Bhagirathi. Is fed by the Gangotri glacier and joined by the Alaknanda at Devprayag in Uttarakhand. The headwater of the Ganga are called Bhagirathi, and it is fed by the Gangotri glacier and joined by the Alaknanda at Devprayag in Uttarakhand. Ganga meets the tributaries from the Himalayas such as your Ghagra, Gandhak and Kosi. The tributaries from Himalaya who met with Ganga. Okay. A major river Yamuna arising from Yamunotri glacier in the Himalayas join Ganga at Allahabad. Okay. A major river Yamuna arising from Yamunotri glacier in the Himalayas join Ganga at Allahabad. Okay. Good. Other tributaries like your Chambal, Betwa and Son come from peninsula upwards to join Ganga. Okay. Other tributaries like your Chambal, Betwa and Son came from peninsula uplands to join your Ganga. Okay. Faruka in West Bengal is the northernmost point of the Ganga Delta. Okay. Faruka in West Bengal is the northernmost point of the Ganga Delta. Ganga is joined by Brahmaputra and formed river Meghna which flows through Bangladesh to reach the Bay of Bengal. Okay. Ganga joined with Brahmaputra and it forms a river called your Meghna which flows through Bangladesh to reach the Bay of Bengal. The delta formed when the Ganga and the Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal is known as the Sundarban Delta. Okay, the delta formed when the Ganga and Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal is known as your Sundarban Delta. You know about the Sundarban Delta very well. Okay. The length of the Ganga is over 2500 km and it develops large meanders in the downstream plains area. Okay. The length of the Ganga is over 2500 kilometers and it develops large meanders in the downstream plains areas. Okay, this is about your Ganga river system. Now let's see about the Brahmaputra river system. originating in Tibet. Okay, it originated in Tibet, very close to the sources of Indus and Satluj. Most of its course lies outside of India. Okay, it is originated in Tibet and it is very close to the sources of Indus and Satluj. Most of its courses lies outside of India. On reaching Namcha Barwa, it takes a U-turn and enter in Arunachal Pradesh to flow to Assam, joined by many tributaries. Okay, how it flows? On reaching Namcha Barwa, it takes a U-turn. Okay, and enters in Arunachal Pradesh to flow to Assam and joined by many tributaries. The tributaries that join Brahmaputra are Dibang, Lohit and Kenula. Okay, these are the three tributaries who join Brahmaputra. They are Dibang, Lohit and Kenula. The Brahmaputra has a braided channel in its entire length in Assam to form many riverine islands. Okay, the Brahmaputra has a braided channel in its entire length in Assam to form many riverine islands. Riverine means located on or by a river. So, world largest riverine island is found in Brahmaputra. Okay, getting world's largest riverine island you will get in Brahmaputra. Unlike other northern Indian rivers, the Brahmaputra is marked by huge deposits of silt on its bed. Okay, unlike other river in northern India, Brahmaputra marked by a huge deposit of silt on its bed, causing the river bed to rise. Because of the river bed to rise. So, here the Brahmaputra river system is over. Now, let's see the peninsular rivers. Western Ghats from the main water divide in peninsular India. The Western Ghats from the main water divide in peninsular India. The major rivers of the peninsula: Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Okay, the main rivers of the peninsulas are, first is Mahanadi, then your Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. They flow eastward to drain into the Bay of Bengal. Okay, these rivers of peninsula, they flow eastward to drain into the Bay of Bengal. The Tapi and Narmada are the only river which flow west to make estuaries and drain into the Arabian Sea. Okay, estuaries means coastal water body where ocean tides, okay, and rivers water merge, resulting in a brackish water zone, that is called your estuaries. So Tapi and Narmada, they are flowing eastward and they are making estuary and drain into the Arabian Sea. The drainage basins of the peninsular rivers are comparatively small in size. Okay, the drainage basin of the peninsular rivers are comparatively small in size. Okay, now let's see the Narmada basin. In next class, we will going to discuss about the Narmada basin. So today, what all the things we learned? We learned about the drainage system, the Himalayan river, the Indus river system, the Ganga river system, the Brahmaputra river system, the peninsular rivers. Okay, these all the river system we learned about them. So in next class we will going to learn about the Narmada basin. Till then, take care.